Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Daily Dan blog, and everybody knows I love saying that stuff. Today I'm looking at a Walt Disney comic book from 1955. Don't you just love that 10-cent price tag on the cover? It's number 631 from 1955. It's a Dell comic book. It's the story of Davy Crockett, the Indian fighter. Oh, it's going to have some stereotypic Native Americans in here, so I hope nobody gets too offended. Remember, it's a comic book from 1955, guys, so don't get offended by the content inside this book. Shall we open it up? And on the inside front cover, you get a fine black and white picture of the star of the movie, Davy Crockett, Mr. FESS Parker. God, I love FESS Parker. I love Davy Crockett. He also played Daniel Boone in that TV series too, as well as Davy Crockett in the movies and short-lived TV series. I'll hold it right here if you want to read about the American lore that is Davy Crockett. So as our story starts out, Davy Crockett, he ain't taming the wild frontier today. He's hanging out with the wife and kids, talking about going on a trip. Yep, he is. He talking about the French guy, commander of the fort, is hiring him to track down some renegade Native Americans. Oh, it looks like we're going to have an adventure. Yeah, you know, it's time to go when Ned, Zeke, and Georgie show up. What traditional American names these guys have. As Davy Crockett says bye to the little guy, saying howdy-os to the kid, and he's gonna head on down the road with Georgie, Ned, and Zeke. I hope these guys live long enough to make it through the book. Yeah, I think that Georgie guy, the one that was singing, was played by Buddy Epson, maybe, in the movie. I'll have to check on that. Yeah, you check on that and let me know in the comments below. Anyway, they roll it on off. He's singing an itching and fighting song, and that one kinda sucks. I like this other song he's singing. What does that say? Davy Crockett raised in the woods. He knew every tree. Killed him a bear when he was only 3. I can't sing worth a damn. Hey, hold on for a minute, YouTube.
Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, green estate in the land of the free, raised in the woods so he knew every tree, killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Fought single-handed through the Indian War, till the creeks was whipped and peace was in store. And while he was handling this risky chore, made himself a legend forevermore. Davy Crockett, the man who don't know fear. He went off to Congress and served a spell, fixing up the government and laws as well. Took over Washington, so I heard tell, and passed up the crack in the Liberty Bell. Davy Crockett, seeing his duty clear. When he come home, his politicking was done. Why, the Western March had just begun. So he packed his gear and his trusty gun, and lit out a grinning to follow the sun. Davy Crockett, leading the pioneer.
Goddamn YouTube, that put a tear in my eye when I saw the Alamo pop up, and I realized how this damn story ends. I hope it don't end that way in this comic book. Well, anyway, this is after the whole spell in Washington. Davy Crockett's done headed on out west, you know. He's helping them French guys, and he's dealing with them evil Creek Indians. Here's the French guy that says, hey, they attacked us, they messed us all up. We need to get Davy Crockett to show us the way to catch these bad guys, right? These bad Indians. Yeah, that's right. They're putting the plot on it. They're getting Davy Crockett to go track him down. Oh, Davy's out in the woods hanging out with George, playing with Bears? Bears? At least it ain't a Bigfoot. Yeah, he's talking to the bears because that's what Davy Crockett does. They ought to break out and sing another song as the French guys show up and talk to old Davy Crockett in Georgia about that. But the bear scares them real bad, but they run off and the bear takes off through the woods. And Georgie has to say, leave that bear alone. That old Davy Crockett's freeing right there, that there bad bear. Well, anyway, I guess we're going to waste about 4 or 5 pages of doofus George talking to the general and Davy running around in the damn woods playing with his bear. Anyway, Davy run off playing with the bear, and apparently they got into this big fight, and Davy killed the bear. Killed him a bear when he was only 3, I thought. Apparently he can kill the hell out of a bear with a Bowie knife. You know Davy Crockett's a bad man. He's a bad man. He said, them Indians messed you up, boy. I kill bears with Bowie knives. You think I'm worried about some creeks? That's what they call these Indians in this book. They call them the creeks. So, in the usual full panels brought to you by the Daily Dan blog, and it's the beautiful art and the full panels that the Daily Dan really enjoys as he's reading the story of Davy Crockett. Like I said, this comic book's from 1955. It's got that old comic book feel. It's got that old comic book smell. It's got that good, not shiny, glossy art to it. I love this old comic book. You know, I'm a big FESS Parker fan myself. Oh, and we roll on. They're talking, they're discussing, they're planning how to hunt down these evil Creek Indians that attacked that messed up dude's arm, because he keeps going on and on about his arm, a whiny little bitch, you know, because he's French, and that's what they do. Anyway, Davy Crockett leading the posse. Davy Crockett crossing the river. Davy Crockett talking to the French lieutenant, and he's planning to hunt down the Creeks. So they take Davy out to the scene of the crime where they had the battle, so Davy Crockett can scout around, look for evidence, try to figure out which way they went. Of course, Davy Crockett picks up a trail and says, hey, them Creek Indians went that way. Davy Crockett's on the case. Davy Crockett's tracking down the Creek Indians who attacked the French people. Boy, I read this comic book. I really did. Can you tell? Anyway, Davy Crockett and them are on the trail of the evil Creek Indians. And when you got Davy Crockett hot on the trail, it isn't long before he catches up with Geronimo here. Now, that ain't Geronimo. It's the Creek Indians. His name's Babonimo. Babonimo. Whatever. He's crazy Indian Creek guy. Davy Crockett catches up with him. They're checking out the creeks from high on a boulder above the hill. Davy Crockett must come up with a plan to deal with these creeks. Look at that. I think they're sending up some smoke signals right now saying, yo, Indians, we got company, brothers. You ever get that feeling something's going to go a little bit long? Oh my God, this comic book has so many pages, and if you noticed, I haven't seen no ads. I've just seen story. You gotta love a good deal comic book. I wonder when we'll get some ads. Anyway, the battle ensues between the French Davy Crockett guys and the Creek Indians. The Creek Indians try dropping trees on them. They're going down fast, though, because some people have guns and some people don't. Oh my God. But these Creek Indians are slick. They pulled some booby traps and some surprises. Took out a few of the French guys. Even though they looking like the Three Stooges all dazed and confused up over there. Davy Crockett's leading the charge because him and Georgie still have their horses. So in this Native American clusterfuck, lots of Indians get their ass shot off by Davy Crockett, Georgie, and the French guys. And I don't even want to go into how bad these poor Native Americans get beat in this comic book. Every time you turn around, old Major with the hurt arms like, kill him. And Davy's like, bam, 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 bam. And the Indians go down. Wow, this is kind of tragic when you look at it. Anyway, Davy talking to the French guy with the hurt arm about, we got some of them bad Indians today, but we'll have to go out in the woods, in the forest, to get the rest of them. So after a lot of exposition, a lot of planning it out, and a lot of sneaky stuff by old Davy Crockett, he gonna got there and go down and sneak up on the scouting party. They're gonna take out the scouting party, kidnap Indians, kill the other ones. This old dude right here, this Creek war chief's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? As the attack begins again. So in these full, beautiful panels brought to you by the Daily Dan blog, we're going to see Indian action. He's an Indian outlaw. This guy's half Cherokee and Choctaw. Yeah, that's right. The French are at war with the Creeks. Davy Crockett's in the middle. A big battle is ensuing back and forth as the war rages. The Indians are going down quite fast. And that's what happens when you're outnumbered and are armed. As guns blaze and guns fire, and the Native Americans can't stand up to the heavy gunfire, even though they're shooting some arrows and trying, they just can't stand up to the gunfire of the French. And the French are like, and they call off the attack as the Indians flee into the woods. Now they regroup to make some more plans. And what's that? Davy says, we've got to track them down and finish them all off, or they will be back. So, oh my God, we're going to get a bunch more exposition as they plan and they plan and they plan, and finally they take off. And they head out that way. But Davy's plans are thwarted when the French say, no, you can't do it that way, Davy. And he gets it, and he's like, Davy Crockett and the guys, Zeb and Zeke and Georgie, they go off like the four musketeers standing up against the French. No, we can't do it that way. You got to do this way. You got to do that way. Apparently, Davy don't want to hunt them down and kill them like dogs, and the French people says, let's cut their heads off. Square to God, YouTube. On the very next page, Davy Crockett done took his horse, took his ball, and went home to see his wife on a little trip. He went down, he spent a couple of days with the wife, he hugged the dog, he kicked the kid, and watched the bird fly away as he headed back to meet up with the French. And one day at that little 5-panel, he took a vacation to see his wife. I guess he was telling that bitch goodbye because he didn't think he's going to be back after this next battle. Anyway, him and Georgie roll back up to see them French people again. And then you get more exposition. Here we go again. Let's talk about it. Let's make plans. Let's do this. Look. Oh, shit. We're going to have to do something. Is that Bigfoot hiding in the woods behind him? No, that's just Georgie. Hey, YouTube, if you don't believe I'm a big FESS Parker fan, check this out. This is Best Wishes from FESS Parker, the guy who played Davy Crockett. This is one of my autographed pictures. I found a bunch of autographed pictures when I've been going through stuff lately. This was pretty cool, huh? I love this one. And I guess this is a real good time to tell everybody to be sure to check out my friend Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV here on YouTube. You know, Pat McCormick's got really great videos. Hell, a couple of them probably better than the one you're watching now. So back to the battle. Battle rages on. And they beat them back some more, and the Indians have retreated. Oh, Georgie's out checking things out, seeing what's going on, looking for a bloody trail. See the trail with the blood, because it's a bloody trail. And one of them Indians sneak up and cock him on the head, and then they were going to take that hair, so he got it all ready to scalp that sucker. But Georgie's in trouble because the Indians decide to take him. And then Davy gets all pissed off, knocks an alligator in the face with a stick, and decides to pick up the trail. So he's following the Indians who kidnapped Georgie. I think his name's Georgie. Georgie Boy, the one played by Buddy Ebsen in the movie. He tracked them down to where they're holding Georgie down here in the clearing below this big-ass ugly tree. That's a big tree, ain't it? Look at that twisty sucker. And then you know what's going to happen. Davy going to run out the woods throwing axes, throwing knives, scaring them half to death. He talks to him. He says, look here, that guy has caused you no problems. He's not with the French. He's with me. And these Indians are like, oh, the French and you have been killing everybody. And they get into a big thing. He says, well, I'll kill you, and I'll kill you. So they decide that, hey, Davy going to fight this war chief guy, this Creek king, and if he can beat him, they can go away peacefully and live as friends. Oh, that's some bullshit. Anyway, they get in this big-ass fight. It goes back and forth like a WWE wrestling match. Davy against a tree as the Creek chief approaches and swings the axe. But he misses. That just looks like some WWE stuff in this whole panel, does it not? Tell me, is that dropped from the pages of pro wrestling comic books? And Davy gets to drop. Davy says, I will split your skull if you don't submit. Little Creek chief submits, and he says, Davy and Georgie can go free, but we part this time as friends. Next time we meet, it's going to be Wrath of Khan there, brother. And they ride off into the sunset, and you get a pledge from Dell to put on some really cool books. Here, in the back of this comic book, you can read the pledge from Dell if you want to. And then you get to learn all about these evil-ass Creek warriors we've been encountering in this comic book. And I'll hold it right here. Especially if you're in a foreign country, you might want to take time to read about the incredible Creek warriors that infested our country like cockroaches back in the early days of the United States. Did I say that? Just to let everybody know, I'm a really big fan of the Native Americans. I love Indian stuff, and I have a lot of Native American friends, so there you go. And this has to be one of the coolest back covers of a comic book I've ever seen. Check out the Creek Indian Territory old school looking map on the back of this mother. Oh my God, I love it. I almost want to put the back on the wall. Oh, but I guess I'm going to go with the cover, huh? I can't wait to hang that 1955 Golden Era comic book up on my wall. It's a 10-cent deal from 1955. This number 631. It's Walt Disney's Davy Crockett, the Indian Fighter, and I'm guessing this was a really big, really popular comic book back in the day. Be sure to let me know what you think about this comic book in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that silly little bell. And this is Danny Staten for the Daily Dan Blog saying, I'll be back next time with another comic book that will blow your mind, I'm sure. And until next time, Danny Staten saying, blog over, dudes. Blog over.